Thanks to SimpliSafe for sponsoring this episode. For this journey, I'll be enlisting the help of my snowcat to do some selective winter logging. With it, I'll be heading beyond the trail and into the deeper snow, territory which my old Jag snowmobile can only dream to venture. Once harvested, I'll haul the freshly felled timber to my sawmill, where I will cut the cedar into gable cladding and window frames for the log cabin my dad and I have been building together. For the first leg of the journey, I will travel to the pop-up cabin and spend the night there. Come daybreak, I'll gather my logging gear, which is stored at the pop-up, and head deeper into the cedar expanse. But for now, let's leave tomorrow where it belongs, so that we can focus on today. And today, we travel. Once again, I'd like to thank SimpliSafe for sponsoring this episode. SimpliSafe is incredibly effective, reliable home security that will make sure your home is safe. SimpliSafe makes it really easy to secure your home. You just order it online or over the phone. It's delivered right to your home and you set it up yourself in under an hour. From there, your home is professionally monitored 24/7. If anything happens, they make sure the police get called. They've got sensors to cover every window, room, and door, plus lots of great extras like water sensors, temperature sensors, and HD cameras. It's all really easy to use, and you get around-the-clock protection for just 50 cents a day with no contracts. They've even won the US News and World Report's Best Overall Home Security of 2020.
SimpliSafe on. Home.
I started using SimpliSafe 2 years ago when I used their system to protect my grandfather's property from wood thieves, and we haven't had a problem since. Personally, I was able to install the system within 30 minutes and without any tools. It's actually that easy. I also found the system extremely intuitive and straightforward to use. Plus, the sensors are sleek and small, so I don't even notice them. For example, this is an entry sensor. It's quite small and inconspicuous. These go on windows or doors. So if I were to put this on the door frame and this on the door, whenever the door gets opened,
Front door. Entry sensor.
it alerts you right away. Visit simplisafe.com/theoutsider to learn more. Now let's do some logging. With no available openings to fell it through, the tree became hung up. No surprise there. It would be up to the snowcat to pull the trunk out from underneath itself.
Well, it appears we have a problem. Take a look at this. The shifter is just free floating. Now I'm hoping it's just a cotter pin that's come loose, but I won't know until I have a look at the transmission. The good thing is that the transmission is located directly underneath the driver's seat. So all I have to do is pop 2 pins, pull it out, and I'm able to look directly into the transmission and see what's going on. There. Okay. Oh yeah, there's our problem. Oh, look at that. The guy who put the transmission in before me, he welded a bolt, and there's where the gear selector selects the gears from the transmission. So that would be park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, first. Okay, well that's not too bad. All I have to do is pop the bolt back in. Oh, that was easier than I thought. But maybe I should put a zip tie on that, keep it from popping out again, at least for now. Well, the zip tie's back on, and it seems to be doing a good job of holding it, at least for now, at least enough to get me out of the bush today. So anyway, let's get the seat back on and get this tree pulled down.
I knew that the snowcat was strong enough to pull the cedar giant down, but I wasn't so sure it would have enough traction in the deep snow to do so. Looks like the old cat still has its claws. I began hauling the lower 17-foot section onto the sawmill at the main cabin, which wasn't much further from here. I'd return for the upper half of the cedar once I had finished processing the main log. Now here's a welcome sight. According to plan, my dad rendezvoused with me at the log cabin later that day to help with the sawmill and cladding installation.
So I've cut the end off this log, and you can see we've got some soft parts here, some rotten bits. And that's what happens when these trees get older. These cedar trees in particular, they start to rot from the inside out. So I'm not surprised by the size of this tree that I found some rot in the base of it, but we'll see what we can get out of it. I'm thinking about cutting a bit more off the end of this log just to see if I can get away from the rotten part, but I doubt it. That's actually cleared it up quite a bit. I'm surprised. Yep. That's good. We caught it at a good time. Well, would you look at that? This is the first piece I cut, and the rot is a lot more noticeable. And we just moved over about a foot, and a lot of the rot has gone away. So we cut this tree at a good time because it was just starting to spread up from the base of the tree. Good news. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna mill this into siding today. Now normally milling green lumber is not the best thing to do because it can shrink quite a bit, and if you're doing siding it can crack, but cedar is the most stable wood that I've ever worked with, and it has a reputation for being stable. So I don't think it'll shrink all that much even if we cut it green today and put it up. And we'll also nail it with one course of nails so that the shingles or the siding can expand and contract as it needs to.
With another batch of cedar siding complete, it was time to clad the gable with it.
Thank you. This is the right side.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yep, that works. Well, the cedar siding is coming along nicely, but we're going to stop here for today. Now, we started with some felt paper on the outside, and then we put some cedar siding over top of that. Eventually, we're going to come inside and fill up these gaps with 3.5 inches of foam board insulation, followed by some vapor barrier, and then the inside cladding. Now, when we did the front gable, we put the vapor barrier on the outside, followed by the cedar cladding, which is the wrong way to do it, because once we put the insulation on the inside, that places the vapor barrier on the cold side of the insulation. So as warm air from inside the cabin comes into contact with that cold vapor barrier, moisture will condense on it, and there will be moisture issues within the gable. So that's what we don't want, but thank you to those who pointed out that mistake. We really do appreciate it, and later on we're going to fix that. But what I wanted to show you up here is how bright it has remained up in the loft, which is surprising to me because I figured once we blocked in the gables, it would become really dark within the cabin, especially in the loft. But it just goes to show you that these two dormers are doing their job. They're letting in lots of natural light, so it's not nearly as dark up here as I thought it would be. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the wind has really picked up, so you can hear it howling out there right now. So it's actually nice to be inside where it's sheltered.
That's it for now. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, be well, and God bless.